versus Fu Lian Kong King Sundrian Benhat, a legal dispute concerning the non-registration of the sublease. The outcome of this case provides significant insights into the legal requirements for a lease registration and the implication of non-compliance. This review will examine the background of the case, the legal issues involved, the court's findings, and provide a critical analysis of the decision.
Hi, my name is Sufu.
Alright, we are from the SNM Jewelries, and these two are my shooties.
Hello, hi.
So let's go to my office. Please have a seat. So what we have here is a sublease agreement. The sublease agreement about the 7-story building that called Wisma Fujian, that I will be subleasing this building for 25 years. So you may read this agreement and discuss with your shooters. You can sign here.
So, how are you all taking this? What is your opinion on this?
I think it's alright. Should go with it.
Yeah, let's take the risk. Sign it.
Is there any caveat that we need to foresee or anything? No?
I don't think so.
Alright.
So it's a pleasure to have business with you.
Thank you. So I will be signing this check towards for the payment of fees to Mr. Fu. Yeah? So did you guys check with the documentation and all? Is everything okay?
Yeah, everything was good.
Yeah,
Alright.
there's no error.
Hi, hello, Mr. Fu. Yeah, I'm just calling you to remind you for the registration of the sublease, yeah? Is everything okay? Alright, thank you very much.
Sir, this is the document.
Alright, thank you very much.
Why is it not registered? I already called him and told him last time. I think we need to have a discussion with the sureties.
As all of you know, our declaration and our sublease agreement is not registered yet by the subleaser, the subleasee, which is Mr. Fu. So I think it's better for us to terminate our agreement for the tenancy. What do you all think?
Yeah, we should need to go over that. Yeah.
So, sir, I have prepared the declaration of sublease agreement.
Right.
Take a look at it.
Alright. Everything is in check, I presume. Yes.
Sir, I think there's a letter for you.
Alright, thank you.
What? Why did he was the one terminating our contract, our agreement?
So I will run by you guys an up to date, which is the termination of our agreement. He was the one who declared it first. So we will be going to court and suing him under two issues. So the first one would be the termination of the sublease, as due to it was unlawful and ineffective. And the second one is the sublease was still valid and binding, as all of you guys know.
I will now explain with the judgment of the case. The respondent lost a periodic tenancy due to repudiation. Since there was an equity favoring the first appellant, it couldn't be a month-to-month tenancy as explained in paragraph 54. A valid notice ends the tenancy on the last day of the yearly period. The respondent was entitled to 6 months notice of terminating a yearly periodic tenancy. However, the notice given by the first appellant, which ended both the agreement and tenancy, was 5 months short, as explained in paragraph 55. A lease or sublease longer than 3 years isn't void due to non-registration, but it remains imperfect without it. Unless registered, it doesn't transfer title to the leasee or subleasee, but is still an agreement for a lease. Such an agreement doesn't create a landlord-tenant relationship, but if the tenant takes possession under an unregistered lease, they become a tenant at will, as explained in paragraph 56. A tenancy at will can be ended by either party and can't exist with a periodic tenancy or an equitable lease. When the tenant pays or agrees to pay rent, the tenancy at will changes into periodic tenancy based on the terms of the intended lease, such as yearly or other periods. Equity might treat an agreement for a lease as an equitable lease, treating the unregistered lease as registered and enforcing specific performance against the owner.
Our case review will be classified under 5 elements, which are legal issues, court reasoning, strength and weakness of the case, and also, lastly, conclusion.
Starting with legal issues, there are 2 legal issues that have been identified in this case, which are whether the sublease is valid and binding, also whether the termination of the sublease lawful and effective.
Court reasoning. The High Court held that because of no registration, the lease was void and hence a relationship of tenancy at will was created. The High Court further held that there was no fundamental breach or total failure of the consideration since there was a tenancy at will, and as such, the termination of the agreement was therefore invalid. Moving on to the next one, which is the strength of the case. We have identified 3 strengths in this case, which is the first one, ownership and title, adverse position, and equitable interest. Next, the weakness of the case. Also, we have identified 3 things, which is lack of documentary evidence, failure to establish adverse position, and also weak equitable interest argument.
Last but not least, as conclusion, a lease exceeding 3 years is not void due to non-registration, but is imperfect without registration. It doesn't transfer title, but if the tenant is let into possession, they become a tenant at will. That's all from us. Thank you.